Coming up on Mountain News this morning, plans to open a new place for people to get fresh produce in our region gets back on track after being paused because of a soil issue. And a group of high schoolers from across the state in our region come together to find solutions to issues.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
5:35 here on this Monday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. We are just trucking along. My goodness gracious. Good morning. I'm Dakota. I already said that. All right, let's go over to Brandon for a look at our forecast. It's the cold weather, buddy. I'm telling you.
Listen, the cold's got in your brain, it sounds like this morning.
Like my car, it's like me. I'm having a hard time starting up this morning.
Exactly. So that's okay. We'll get you going here in a little bit. But again, it's just a cold morning across the region out there. We can't say it enough. Some spots like Pikeville, let's take a look at our first camera this morning, a touch warmer. 23 over there. It's a heat wave in Pikeville this morning. US 119, US 23 near Pikeville Commons. A little light traffic out there to get your Monday started. But a lot of folks are at home this morning because the schools are out. Now, it's not a big thing, but we've got at least 10 school closings in there. They're going to be closed all week, including several big counties. So just watch out for that on the scroll there at the bottom of your screen. I do see it there, and you can also find those on WYMT.com. A lot of illness floating around right now. 26, the hot spot at the National Weather Service office at Julian Carroll Airport up at Jackson. And the cool spot, Monticello Wayne County Airport, is at 11 this morning. So again, a lot of teens out there to start us off. And they're going to go up. It's going to be a long day there for us, but we're going to see basically sunshine taking us into the low 50s this afternoon. Not a terrible day and getting closer to average day by day. Now, some changes are on the way. We'll talk more about those coming up in a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, members of the LGBTQ plus community across the country are advocating for safety following a deadly shooting at a gay nightclub in Colorado. Police say 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldridge walked into the club and opened fire, killing 5 people and injuring at least 18 others. Well, back here in the Commonwealth, members at the Lexington Pride Center say they don't feel safe. Julia Sandor tells us how the center is helping those in the community cope with the recent shooting.
People are mourning across the country, all the way to central Kentucky. Catherine Taylor is the development assistant at the Lexington Pride Center. They say the center is a safe place for anyone who is a part of the LGBTQIA plus community.
I think that's another important thing, is to continue our advocacy for our community, because there aren't enough places right now that offer LGBTQIA plus affirming services.
They say after the tragedy in Colorado Springs, people are concerned for their safety. Yet they say they feel this way more often than some may think. Taylor says even though Lexington is considered a forward-moving city, there are many people who don't feel accepted.
Our goal is just to live, just to be who we are and be free and not fear that we're going to be hurt or that our lives are in danger every time that we're out in the public. And that's such a prevalent emotion that we feel in our community.
They say it's time to speak up and speak out publicly about situations like this.
I think that when you see something and it's far away, it's in a different state, you think, oh, well, that'll never happen here, but it is happening here. It's happening all around us. And it's a call to action. And
a tragedy like this is a reminder that while they've come so far, they still have a lot of work to do.
That was Julia Sandor reporting, and they say the need for the community is always evolving. One major issue they added was the need for safer homeless shelters for people in the LGBTQ plus community. Well, former employees of a Western Kentucky factory destroyed in last year's deadly tornadoes are now suing the owners. A news release states the charges were filed on behalf of 20 employees of the Mayfield candle factory. The workers accuse Mayfield Consumer Products of, quote, unfair labor practices. An EF4 tornado hit the factory last December. It collapsed and 9 people died. Survivors say they were told by management not to speak with OSHA about the incident. One man is dead after he was hit by a car in McCreary County. Well, police say 35-year-old Kenneth Troxell was walking along Highway 27 around 7 p.m. on Saturday. Police say he was hit by a truck driven by 18-year-old Zachary Heath of Barberville. Heath was not injured in the crash. Kentucky State Police say they are continuing the investigation. Well, plans for a new farmers market pavilion in downtown Corbin, it's still on track. Representatives from the Corbin Tourism Commission, the Whitley County Extension Office, and other organizations broke ground for the project earlier this year. The project was then paused due to a soil issue. But those with the Corbin Tourism say the project is up and running again, and they plan to have it completed by this summer.
You know, I think that once we do the remediation on the soil, that the project should be able to move pretty quickly from there. We've just hit a little bit of a snag that's totally natural. But yeah, so we're still we're hopeful for the summer of 23.
Officials say the pavilion's official name has also been selected. It will be called the Hometown Bank Farmers Market Pavilion. 75 high schoolers from across the state gathered in London to come up with solutions to problems their communities may be facing. The 33rd annual Kentucky 4-H Issues Conference took place at the J.M. Feltner 4-H camp. Well, this event gave teen 4-H members the opportunity to address and find solutions to local issues like mental health and improving the foster care system, among other topics.
So one of the goals of 4-H Issues Conference is to create that youth and adult partnership so that the young people have a true voice and not just sit at a table at a meeting.
Within the Issues Conference, the delegates were split into groups to create a course of action and presentations surrounding an issue of their choice. Several school districts will be closed starting today due to illness. Perry County, Clay County, Somerset Independent Schools, and Danville Independent Schools have canceled classes for today and tomorrow. Meanwhile, in Rockcastle County, today and tomorrow will be considered NTI days for students. Students in each district already have Wednesday through Friday off for the Thanksgiving holiday. You can find a list of closings on WYMT.com and scrolling at the bottom of your screen. Well, just ahead this morning, fans of a long-running franchise mourn the loss of one of its original actors who quickly became a star.
And temperatures will head back closer to normal over the next couple of days before that trend, and that trend could continue through the end of Thanksgiving week. I'll have the latest in about 3 minutes.